Don't fail up, don't fail up, don't fail up, don't fail up, don't fail up,
Welcome to Flame, the kitchen in which we ignite love and peace. And today we're welcoming a guest, Jasuben, who is from the Brahma Kumaris Bulawayo Center in Zimbabwe. Welcome, Jasuben. So lovely to have you with us. And you can subscribe to this program in which we demonstrate a huge variety of excellent vegetarian and vegan dishes. So what are you going to cook for us today, Jasuben?
Good morning to my viewers. Good morning, and thank you, Shuna, and all. Today we're going to have a sweet potato sandwich, which is very, very simple, easy, light, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Sounds very interesting. And so what we have in front of us are some sweet potatoes. And you're going, yes, you can please demonstrate.
First of all, we take the sweet potato, we'll make little pieces, chop them up very beautifully to make the sandwich. It is very easy also, just like that. So the ingredients that we have today with us are green coriander, peanut powder, green chili, ginger, salt, and a little bit of hing. And together with that will be some turmeric, not turmeric, but dhania powder and jeeru powder.
And so for those who are familiar with those terms, the dhania is coriander and the jeeru is cumin. And of course this hing is sometimes known as asafoetida, and that gives quite a good flavor to many dishes. And so, Jasuben, I'm going to invite Sister Patience to ask you a little bit about yourself and your philosophy towards food. Welcome, Patience.
Greetings, Jasuben. It's good to see you. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks, Patience.
Okay. So now we live in a world where things are changing. People are becoming more vegan, more vegetarian. What advice would you give to someone who's starting out?
Okay, for myself, I would say that when I was non-veg as well, but I always had this thought of being vegetarian. But it seemed impossible. But when I started with Brahma Kumaris and I started meditating, within a week I felt for myself from inside my heart that I should be vegetarian. And this gave me a lot of booster because I used to have a lot of problems with digestion, uncomfortable feeling in the body. And I found that once I had become vegetarian, it made my life so much easier. It was more comfortable, it was more light, and I felt more energetic.
Mm-hmm. So you get it, everyone. If you're starting out on this journey, there are good health tips from her. She said that it was good for well-being. It was good for just because she used to be sick before, but now it's good and she's more energetic. And now for people who are in an environment where they're surrounded by people who eat meat and they only eat vegetables, what advice would you give to those people around them? Not to them, but to those people around them.
Okay, for me it was very easy because although my whole family was non-vegetarian, but I felt that I think that just the power of pure thoughts, even they appreciated, and they would say to me, oh, it's okay, you can just do what you have to do and we'll do what we have to do. And I remember my dad also, he said, oh, don't worry about about us, you, as long as you're comfortable, you're fine, it will help you, and it And later I found that even other one or two sisters of mine and my dad and others became vegetarian very easily.
And you've been meditating for a few decades now. How has that gone hand in hand with your cooking?
Of course, the more we cook in the remembrance of God, and we have positive thoughts that we vibrate, which also has an effect on the food, and whatever we eat, the effect of the food is on the mind and the body as well. So, and even it affects the people who are eating that food, because the positive vibrations helps them in their life as well.
Okay, so any advice to everyone out there who's vegan and who's non-vegan before we commence to cooking?
Oh, I'm sure you all enjoy being vegetarian, and there's a lot of variety in vegetarian. Before we used to think that there isn't, but there is so much things we can, have vegetarian, and I think you'll be happy with your life also.
All right, thank you so much, Sister Jasu. Would be happy to see how you do this whole dish for us. Thank you.
So at the moment we just saw that we started with chopping the sweet potatoes in a nice little shape, which you wash, when they washed nicely, you just have to slice them for the...
And so that's like about 1 centimeter thick.
Yes, very small, not very thick. Then we just, what we need to do is make our little paste, which is the green coriander, dhania, green coriander. And we put some of this peanut powder inside.
And so you said you roasted these peanuts a little beforehand, because that brings out the flavor of the
and
peanuts.
the taste as well. And then a little bit of ginger powder, very little you don't need so much.
So grated ginger.
And then maybe a bit of chili powder also, 1 teaspoon is more than enough. But it depends on how sweet, how chili you like. A little stronger, then it's fine, that's all. Then you just need the dhania powder, which is about 3 teaspoons.
2 to 3 teaspoons.
And the cumin powder.
Okay, and about, again, 2 teaspoons.
Then we just need to put a little bit of oil, very little. We're very healthy, and we're not using too much oil. It's not too, just to make a little paste. And you can use your hands to make the paste. And we're just putting a little bit of water, very little bit of water just to make the paste, bind it. And that's done. That's your, and a little bit of the salt we'll need. So the salt is again to your taste, because nowadays a lot of people have pressure, and of course they're going to use very little salt. A little bit of this hing, very little, and then you just do the paste.
So now that you're mixing this paste with your hands, are you going to have chili on your hands, and how are you going to manage that?
You can use a spoon, that's fine, but I'm using the hands because I'm going to need to even make the paste, the sandwich of the paste.
Yeah.
So what we do is we just take one like that, and then you just make a little bit dough there. Very simple and easy, nothing much, just look tasty. Remember that you're a soul, and in the consciousness, the awareness of the Supreme Being, whose peace, love and happiness, so that you share that peace and love and happiness inside also.
And so how do you remind yourself to have that consciousness whilst you're cooking, or has it become automatic with you over the years?
It's become automatic because we've been practicing meditation, and when you use that meditation in our day-to-day life, which is why it helps us so much. And these vibrations also of that, whatever thoughts that we are creating goes inside with a lot of positivity.
And I remember Dadi Janki once saying to somebody who asked her about her family, because you were talking about family and family who might not be vegetarian, and how you manage them. And this person had asked Dadi Janki, well, what do I do about my family? And Dadi had said, as long as you cook in remembrance and you offer to God. Now, when we have this practice of offering to God, what is happening at that time?
Again, it's just remembering, having positive thoughts, and those positive thoughts go into the remembrance of offering also. And that also gives it strength and power to the food. And then the food also becomes so pure and energetic. And so sometimes even I found that when I never used to like cabbage, it was something that I never enjoyed. And yet, when I started cooking it in God's remembrance, and then prepared it and ate it, now I enjoy eating it also.
Okay. And then karmically, if it's been offered to God, then it rightfully belongs to God. And so anyone who eats it is eating from the hand of God and not your hand. So there's basically no karmic account. Is that correct?
No, meaning that, of course, we are instruments for God only. And as much as possible, we try to remember the Supreme Being, and in His remembrance, with the power of peace, love and happiness, of course, it will be purified as well. So here we go. We've just about done with the...
And so you'll notice too that there's very little waste, or no waste at all. That is also part of the consciousness of the cooking of Brahma Kumaris, is that cook what we can eat. There's no wastage. We're very careful not even to waste water or anything like that. So a great respect for the environment and what it provides us with.
Okay, so that's all done.
Wow, perfect. Look at that. Measurements were absolutely accurate.
And now it's very simple. We have some boiling steaming water here, and we can just put it in there so that it becomes very easy, and we'll just steam it. And the steaming doesn't take very long, 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on your heat and the pot you put it in. It's very low, but it's okay. Small ones, they're very happy to have little things. And in case you have leftover, it's also fine, because it will boil and you can still have it.
When you invited us to come and eat with you, and I had my youngest child with me, and you called me quietly into the kitchen and asked me what he would eat, because you didn't want to embarrass him by giving him something that he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't be comfortable eating. And you so kindly made some chips and roti for him, which he loved for the rest of his life.
That was his good fortune, and I was happy to know that at least he enjoyed it, because I could see on the table that he wasn't comfortable with the other food. And so simple things help, which they like. If you prepare for them, they also feel happy.
And so now tell us a little bit about the sweet potato dish. Would you eat it for breakfast, for lunch, for supper, or any time?
It's an interesting sandwich that we made. It's because you can have it as a breakfast dish, you can have it as a lunch. If you want to eat it in the evening for a dinner also, you can have a soup with it, whether it's butternut soup or vegetable soup, you can have it with it, and it's very comfortable and, you know, also light, it's not heavy. Also, if you like it for breakfast and you want to have a nice good breakfast, like a kingly breakfast, you can make your potato sandwich, and then you take your little rolls and you just slice the roll and put it inside, and it will look like a burger. You can put a little tomato if you want, and a little lettuce if you like, and you can, with butter inside, and of course you can have it as a sandwich as well, which is very interesting and tasty. With your tea, coffee, whatever you're having.
And so if, say, you had a bit of some that were left over and weren't hot, how would you reheat it?
Okay, if you find that you like boiled food, it's fine. With steamed, you can enjoy it. If you feel you want to roast it after it's cold, what we do is just take a little bit of oil in a pan, a non-stick pan maybe, or even a normal pan, put a little bit of oil inside, and then you can put your sandwich and turn it both sides and make it a little golden brown, and it's also very tasty.
Oh, okay, so it's a versatile dish. This is a fantastic
very simple,
dish.
very easy, very quick, and yet enjoyable.
What's really nice
Delicious.
about it is that so often people put a sweet sauce or something like that with sweet potato, and this is really savory and just will bring out the flavor of the sweet potato through the use of ginger, chili, a few spices, the peanut powder, which goes of course very well. And throughout Africa there are sweet potatoes and peanuts. So it's a very good dish to know for Africa.
Something we all keep in the house, so I think it's just easy. Now that we're ready, we'll just have a look at it. You just need to take a little knife and just put it inside just to make sure it's cooked well. And I think it's okay, it's now ready.
So it's just been in for a little over 10 minutes.
Just over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you just need to take it out very nicely.
And here we have the finished dish. It's sweet potatoes now soft. We've used a garnish of fresh coriander leaves. And yes, ready to eat. Thank you so much, Jasuben.
Thank you, Shuna. Thank you all. Bye.